Do you look at a kid now like Shawn Mendes and think like, man, I wish, it was going through what he's going through now with what I know now?
Who's Shawn Mendes?
From skits he did on talk shows to interview replies and more. Join me as I reveal to you 10 of the funniest Shawn Mendes moments.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
10. Thirst tweet reading.
I want Shawn Mendes to light me on fire, roast marshmallows over my body.
Let's be honest here. One of the funniest things that can happen with celebrities usually involves social media in some fashion. From them snapping back at haters on Twitter to posting amazing videos of themselves on Instagram or TikTok. There's a lot of ways this can go to be funny. But many shows and internet channels realize that the funniest ones are celebrities reading tweets about themselves that are very intimate in nature. As in, fans post tweets where they are lusting after a celebrity, and then the celebrity reads those tweets. And yeah, Shawn Mendes had to do that once in a bit for BuzzFeed. You'd think that BuzzFeed would go and do the most G-rated of thirst tweets as they are known, and they did make sure that a few of them were in there, such as, "My body is a temple and I want Shawn Mendes to break down the walls." But they also weren't afraid to throw in some of the more dirty ones. And watching Mendes react to this in his own way and actually refuse to read the tweet in full was rather hilarious. This, in a way, shows a very important bit about Mendes, in that he is a guy who is very modest, and he doesn't think of himself in such a way to where he would want to read these tweets. Sorry, ladies. 9. Mustard and Austin Mahone.
Do you see that? Move that with my mind. It's simple.
Life on the road can get boring, especially when you're a musician and you're literally jumping from city to city to perform various bits and such, and you can't help but wonder if you're missing out on some great moments. Thus, you have to do what you can to make these times magical. And that's exactly what Mendes did during a tour where he was with Fifth Harmony, Austin Mahone, and others. During one filmed part of their life beyond the tour, Mahone went to a room to relax and found Mendes in there. Mendes took the opportunity to just weird out Mahone by noting that he had telekinetic powers and that he really loved mustard. So much so that he straight up opened the bottle of mustard and then proceeded to pour large amounts of mustard into his mouth. The whole bit was a planned sketch, obviously, but it was a funny one, and one that we should appreciate because we got to see the funny bone of both Shawn and Austin. And sometimes that's the most important thing, to see guys like these having fun amidst the stress of making music. 8. Salsa dancing.
So you have a video?
Completely. But no, we're doing something special. I feel like it's important.
I'm not dancing for you.
Stop!
Sometimes people don't think that they'll like a certain thing until they try it. And then when they do try it, they like it and suddenly they can't stop doing it. For Shawn Mendes, that revelation came in the form of dancing. But not just any dancing. Salsa dancing. This is important to note because he has been on record before that point as noting that he didn't like to dance, and he would have no reason to lie about that. But then, during an interview, he got an impromptu salsa dancing lesson, and he found out that he really liked the moves of the dance. So much so that he kept doing it, and kept doing it, and kept doing it, even when he wasn't on stage or doing a music video or such. His salsa sway, as it is now known, is both famous and infamous, because in one way it makes his fans, especially the ladies, go crazy, because they like seeing him move like that. But it's also become infamous because he'll do it randomly and do videos of himself just doing his salsa sway, and it's meant to prove something, but it honestly just proves that he needs to get more lessons. Oh well, at least it's funny to watch, and he learned something new about himself. 7. The Meow Record.
I'm Shawn Mendes, and I'm gonna try and set the world record for the most meows in 1 minute.
If you really think about it, some of the funniest moments of a celebrity's life is when they decide to just go crazy and do something so outlandish and random that you can't help but laugh with them and at them when they do it. For Shawn Mendes, that moment came via the MTV Record Week, where a whole bunch of music celebrities and beyond came around to try and set world records. For Shawn Mendes, he decided to go and do the record for most meows in a minute, and he went full tilt trying to get it done. He didn't set the record, but he was clearly invested in it. It's good to see celebrities like Shawn poke fun at themselves like this, because it shows that they not only have a good sense of humor, but they're not so fragile that they can't step out and have a lot of fun. Tell me this though, if you had Shawn try and do another crazy world record, which one would you pick for him? 6. The Harry Potter Superfan.
9.5.
Really?
Yeah.
You love it that much?
I do. I really do. I have a whole book at home that I wrote all the spells in and stuff.
Despite the books and movies being a decade or two old, depending on how you look at it, the wizarding world of Harry Potter continues to mystify and keep people spellbound. See what I did there? And despite the main movies and series being done, fans still love Harry Potter, and that includes Shawn Mendes. Now, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that one such as Mendes would like Harry Potter. It was a popular franchise that spanned the world, including his home of Canada. But what makes this a funny moment was in Carpool Karaoke with James Corden, where Mendes revealed just how much of a superfan he was. During some jump cuts, we watched as Corden and Mendes about his love of Harry Potter, only for Mendes to slowly but surely transform into Harry Potter himself, complete with sunglasses, lightning scar, and wizarding robes. Then he transformed into Albus Dumbledore, all while denying that he was a superfan. I betting some of you fans wish that Harry Potter magic was real so that you could Accio Shawn Mendes, right? 5. Drake's security.
His like 6'6", 300-pound security guard.
No.
Next thing I know, I'm like in the middle of the Weekend show with like my arm hooked behind my back.
Another thing that we shouldn't be surprised at when it comes to celebrities is the fact that they have very heavy security. After all, if it were easy to get to the stars, all sorts of problems would be had, you know? Well, for Shawn Mendes, he always looked up to Drake as he grew up just outside of Toronto, Drake's hometown, and his home to this day in most ways. At one event, he saw Drake and nervously went up to him and tapped him on the side to get his attention. Upon doing this, Drake's security guard grabbed Mendes and put him in a hold because he thought he was an obsessed fan or whatnot. Mendes revealed to Jimmy Fallon that he was honestly really scared of what was going on and was begging for mercy. Thankfully for all involved, Drake turned around and saw what was going on and broke the hold on Mendes. Let that be a lesson to all of you. If you approach a celebrity with security, ask for them to turn around before touching them or pay the price. 4. The Hot Ones Challenge.
You've never seen me like this before. I feel like I can't control anything.
I'm sure you've all heard of the Hot Ones Challenge by now, but if you somehow haven't, here is the gist of it. You go onto the show, first on YouTube, now on TV, and you're given some very spicy wings and some very spicy sauce, and you're to eat the wings without vomiting or quitting. The intense power of these wings can bring out the worst in people, and that includes Shawn Mendes. Not that he did anything untoward per se, but the singer is usually very careful about what he says. And yet, when he was in the Hot Ones Challenge, he couldn't help but get a bit vulgar. By his own admission, people don't see him get vulgar, and that's what made it so funny. 3. To be mean.
It didn't feel good to do
He's
that.
turning around. It didn't feel good?
This felt very unlike me.
One of the things that has gotten Shawn Mendes a lot of love over the years is the fact that on the inside, he is honestly a really kind and sweet guy. However, that doesn't mean he can't pretend to be mean when the situation calls for it, such as when Mendes spent a week on the James Corden show, and James did his best to bring out the worst in James, such as when they were doing Carpool Karaoke and had him practice road rage. While he did yell out some not so nice things, you could see his smile throughout all of it. And during the other skits that they had done, you could see the other fragments of his personality shining through. That's not to say Shawn can't be mean when the situation allows, it's just he prefers to be nice. 2. The Bieber's Underpants.
How much would you pay for Justin Bieber's underpants?
Probably cap it at like $500.
Yep, we're going there. On another skit with James Corden, the topic of Justin Bieber got brought up while they were driving around. While the two apparently didn't know each other at first, that changed. And then Mendes noted that they were very supportive of one another. Corden decided to have some fun and asked Mendes how much he would pay for Bieber's underpants. He said upwards of $500, if they were a very specific pair of underpants, mainly the ones that Bieber had played hockey in. Okay. Though, if we're being honest, while $500 does seem like a lot, there are no doubt a lot of Bieber fans that would pay a lot more for one of his articles of clothing. 1. I hate tomatoes.
Because they're bitter, they have a texture like you're eating a slimy fish or something, and they just suck, and they ruin your sandwich.
Okay, this particular moment is all Mendes' fault, and he knows it. You see, during a random time on Twitter, he went and noted that he hated tomatoes. So much so that he said that tomatoes ruin everything. And that right there gave all sorts of talk shows and more all the ammunition they need to go after Shawn in all the ways that matter. He was forced to apologize to tomatoes on one show. And on the Jonathan Ross show, he was told to eat a tomato in front of everybody. and you could see the cringe when he bit into it. That's what you get for venting on the internet and thinking no one would care. So what do you think? What do you think of these funny moments from singer Shawn Mendes? Are you surprised by the situations he got himself into and the hilarity that ensued? Which of these moments was the funniest in your eyes? Do you know of another funny moment that we should have put on the list? Let me know in the comments below.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.